Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Fuel for Thought podcast, where we were back in Baku. Well, not us, but
No,
the
unfortunately
F1
not.
circus. And once again, we find ourselves saying, "Wow, what a race!"
Yeah.
Wow, what a race! It's like Max Verstappen winning his 10th race in a row. Wow, what a great race! But no, actually, like
It is exciting.
we'll look back on the season and think, "Wow, what an amazing season that was."
Do you think this is better than 2012 now?
I don't know. Because I didn't watch 2012 live. I don't think. How old was I in 2012? Like 16.
Yeah, 16, 17.
Yeah, I don't think I was. I was watching like the mid 2000s and then a little bit after 2012. So
Yeah.
I don't have a first-hand experience to tell you.
Well, if anyone else has an opinion,
Yeah,
let us know.
But it's probably up there, right?
Yeah.
It was a different era of cars, so it's
Yeah.
probably difficult to compare. But, you know, maybe the racing was probably closer then. But I tell you what, the front three in Baku
Almost a front four.
gave us some great racing.
Yeah,
Well,
definitely.
just for the majority of the race. Gave us some great racing there.
Yeah. I mean, Oscar did excellent.
Well, especially between Oscar and Charles.
Yeah.
Lap after lap after lap. And, like, the defending that they both had to do.
Yeah.
The moves, like, in terms of, like, just raw talent, Oscar and Charles, you know, they're both back-to-back champions in F2 and F3. I think that is right, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is Oscar?
I think he is, yeah.
Yeah,
I
Charles
think he
definitely is, I
yeah.
think. So, like, they are kind of the two drivers that, you know, that they can go for a move and pull it off.
Yeah.
And it's really exciting to see them both up there at the front, like, showing us what they have.
Yeah. That reminds me, actually, the podium of Oscar, Charles and George apparently was the first time all F2 champions were on the podium together.
Ever?
I think so.
No. Well, I suppose F2 doesn't include GP2.
Yeah, probably not. But yeah, they were all F2 champions. Actually, maybe it wasn't the first time. Maybe it was just like the fact that they were all F2 champions
Okay.
and they were on the podium together.
Yeah.
But that was quite nice. Quite nice to see. Obviously, George is lucky again. Mr. Right Place, Right Time.
Yeah, and I said it last time, and I say it again. You make your own luck.
Exactly.
You got to be there to take the opportunity when it comes.
Definitely.
And if you're always in, you know, fourth place, always in third place, always in second place, always there or thereabouts, and something happens in front of you, then
He's good at putting himself in that position.
you've only got yourself to thank by putting yourself in that position to take the opportunity. So
Definitely. I mean, it could have been any of them. It could have been Lewis or Lando, but they weren't. Well, Lando was up there in the end, but
yeah. So yeah, a bit of luck.
Yeah.
And speaking of Lando, was it P15 in the end because
Yeah.
of the couple of pit lane starts?
Yep.
P15 to P4, and yeah, a bit of luck.
Yeah.
But most importantly for him,
Finished in front of Max Verstappen.
yes.
Yep. 3 points though. He needs to be shaving a lot more points off than 3.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that is a very good point.
Yeah.
That's not going to help his championship prospects in the slightest.
Yeah, I think he needs like 8.6 points on average per race.
8.6 points more than Max per race.
Yes. Yeah, the difference needs to be 8.6 per race
Yeah.
on average. I'm not sure if that includes sprint races. And I think it would be quite interesting to see how the sprint races switch things up a little bit.
Well, it'd be interesting to see where Red Bull are at for the rest of the season, because if they are finishing 5th and 6th regularly and Lando pulls out a couple of wins, then it is on. Because I think the difference between winning and second is 7 points, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's 25 and
25 and 18, yeah.
So winning plus getting the fastest lap is not enough if Max comes second every race. So,
but I feel like it depends. Like, what if one race Lando wins, Max DNFs? Then that's a large chunk of it taken out.
It is. You're right.
But then, it needs to be consistent. But I don't know. But McLaren have overtaken Red Bull in the Constructors' Championship now.
It feels like it's going the way of McLaren now for the constructors, at least.
And also, obviously, Oscar Piastri won the race. And in the last 7 or 8 races, if the championship had started then,
he's got the most points.
he would be winning the championship. his and Lando's gap is getting quite smaller.
Is he third now?
Charles is still third, I think.
So that'd be interesting if there was like, what would McLaren do?
I know. That's the thing.
What do you do?
See, at the moment, Oscar seems to be more consistent and doing better than Lando, I guess. Making less mistakes. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know, it gets a bit tricky. Obviously, they said they were going to put Lando first. I didn't think they would have that conversation, but they came out and said that they did. Obviously, you said in the last podcast that you thought that they would sit them down and have that conversation, which apparently they did. They were saying, they were saying in the media pen. But obviously, if Lando's qualifying, he's not even making through to Q2.
He qualified 17th.
Obviously, that was a bit of bad luck because of the yellow flag.
It was.
But I don't know. What if he just went for it, went through the yellow flag, just did his lap and took the penalty? Yeah, took the penalty. Yeah. He probably would have started
like P6 or something. Yeah.
Up the grid a little bit, but I don't know. I feel like he's quite he likes to stick to the rules. Doesn't really like to break them, which is fair.
Yeah. But
very unlucky though.
I mean, Charles Leclerc kept the lead of the start.
Yep.
That's how you do it, Lando. Sorry,
well,
no head to Lando.
He had a good start from P15 though.
Yeah, he made up places.
Yeah.
For the first time this season.
Yep.
He made up places.
Yep.
I mean, if he didn't from P15, you'd be asking questions.
Yeah.
And yes, God, it sounds like real Lando slander right now. But you gotta criticize good drivers sometimes when they're not meeting expectations.
I mean, he criticizes himself. He knows the story, so
yeah. But Charles again showed how good he is at putting it on pole, and he kept the lead. But obviously, he's in the Ferrari. It's not as good as the McLaren, so Oscar overtook him.
At one point, he was going to take Oscar back, but then his tires just went off. They were done. So he just lost a lot of pace.
Talk about the end.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But yeah, and then there were a couple of good strategies where you don't see it work very often, but staying out, like really extending, and then pitting really late on a tyre. It worked for both Lando and for Alex Albon. Yeah. Really well.
The Williams did really well this weekend. Mm-hmm. Colapinto got 4 points, which is more than which is more than Logan Sargent got.
He would have finished 10th if that crash didn't happen.
Yes, but he would have still got in the points.
Yes.
But it was more than Logan Sargent got in 2 seasons.
No, he got a point last season.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, he got,
Yeah. And so we're skipping a bit to the end now, but Ollie Behrman finished ahead of Hulkenberg because Hulkenberg slowed down for the crash, thinking there was going to be an immediate VSC, and then Hamilton and Behrman overtook him. Yeah. So Behrman got 1 point, Hulkenberg finished 11th. Yeah. But that's a bit unfortunate for him. But also, like, they should have probably dropped to the VSC sooner. But then Hulkenberg should have probably been paying a bit more attention.
Yeah, I think he lost it a little bit, didn't he?
But yeah, it was a bit odd that they didn't, because it's a tight street track, 2 cars smashed up in the road,
a lot of
carbon fibre everywhere.
Yeah,
like, especially George saying he went head first into it, just not knowing what it was going to be.
No, it was just after a corner as well, wasn't it? As you come around the corner, just on the start
halfway
of the
down that straight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Charles did it a little bit as well with the staying out. He stayed up quite a bit longer, and it worked for him. Yeah.
Apart from his, obviously, tyres went off at the end. I think he went a bit too hard too soon on those hard tyres.
Well, he had a shorter stint than Oscar.
But Oscar just managed to keep them.
Yeah, but he had to clear air for longer.
True.
But it worked for him in the sense he got the lead back.
Yeah.
And McLaren left Oscar out for quite a long time as well.
Yeah, but also, not to mention Lando Norris's teamwork.
Yeah, full credit to Lando there.
Yeah.
And
he is a team player.
Yeah, of course.
Massive team player.
Why would you say no in that situation, though? But holding up Perez in the middle sector where he couldn't overtake, and Perez getting angry about it. Let's not forget Perez in 2021 doing...
That's exactly where my brain went as well.
The exact same thing to even greater extent to help Max. So he can't really complain.
Yeah.
It's sportsmanship. It's gamesmanship. Mm-hmm. Sportsmanship is the opposite.
Yeah.
It's gamesmanship, and I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a good job.
It's not dangerous.
No.
So it's tactical. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
That's why you got a teammate. Also mentioning about late stops, both Alpines, I believe, they didn't pit until the last lap or one of the last laps.
Oh.
So I think they were waiting for a safety car to get a cheap pit stop and kind of make points that way. But then obviously the VSC came and it didn't really do much for them.
Cutting it a bit close, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. They tried it, didn't really work, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
And obviously we mentioned Lando making it from P15 to P4. Lewis Hamilton from the pit lane to P9.
Did he start in the pit?
He started in the pit lane, yeah.
Oh.
So he made up, I think, about the same amount of places, plus the gap from the pit lane.
Yeah, he wasn't making up as many places as I thought, though.
No.
He made up a place, obviously, at the end of Hulkenberg. But, yeah, he got 2 points.
Came P9, yeah.
Yeah. So fair play.
In a rookie sandwich.
Yeah. Who the hell are these guys?
Yeah.
But yeah, so the second stint was really entertaining because obviously Charles really getting the lead. Yeah, he regained the lead, didn't he? Yeah.
I believe so, yeah.
So much happened.
Did he?
I'm sure Oscar overtook him on the first stint.
Did Oscar not have the lead from there on out?
No.
Okay.
Just because he had to make that awesome dive bomb move into turn one, and he was trying it lap after lap, and then he finally did it, and it was a really late move, which Charles wasn't really expecting. It was really cool.
Yeah.
So that's what I was talking about earlier when I was like, it's cool to see them pulling these moves off.
Yeah.
And good hard racing, and then Oscar controlled it from there, but Charles stuck with him. And it looked like he was going to get him at some point when he was sort of like half a second behind. It looked like enough, but Oscar's defense was amazing.
Oscar, yeah. I think he was focusing on, obviously, he had clear air in front of him, and he was trying to. I feel like it was probably beneficial for him to keep Charles a bit behind because Charles got more of the dirty air. Because
Well, and he had Perez on his ass as well.
Yeah. And obviously, because of it's kind of like a square, isn't it? That you'll get a lot of dirty air around those corners. So
yeah, what impressed me was like he seemed to know and be able to gauge exactly how far Charles was behind, so whether he had to defend the inside line or not. And it's like it's crazy because it's tenths of a second, and it's like he was 0.67 behind at one point, and he didn't move, and Charles couldn't make the move happen. But then he was sort of like 0.56 or whatever. And then he covered the inside line and obviously took a tight line into the corner, which comprised the exit, but he stayed in front.
Yeah.
So it was really impressive to see.
And it's really good that he was able to keep in front, because obviously that straight is really long. It's like 2 kilometres. And obviously Charles would get a tow behind him and obviously DRS. So it's impressive that Oscar obviously stayed in front of him with that long straight every single lap.
Yeah.
And the DRS down there.
Very impressive.
Yeah. Second season in F1. He's definitely a future world champion.
Surely.
Absolutely.
You've got to say that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then suddenly Charles' tires went off that cliff.
It was a
Not
large
far from
cliff.
the end, yeah.
Yeah.
But then that put him at risk to Perez, who actually, a bit of Perez, not slander, just
disappointment.
Yeah, just lack of faith in Perez, really, because it's hard to have faith in him this season. He's not done too well. So I had no faith in him doing well. But you were right. Baku was good for him.
Yeah.
While one of his wins was because Max crashed out.
As you said earlier about George.
He proved himself, yeah.
No, but
in terms of, that
you
win.
put yourself in the position to get lucky if the situation comes, and that's what he's done in the past. Perez did in the past in Baku. But yeah, he was on it. He could have won this race, Perez.
He could have, yeah. And he almost overtook Charles, but wow, what a move Charles made to defend that. Incredible.
And Carlos managed to overtake Perez.
Yeah.
It was like a whole situation.
Yeah, because Perez did overtake him and Charles switched it back.
Yeah. And then when it was switched back, Carlos managed to get in there. And
and do you know what? A little bit of Perez commentary here. If that's Max, he doesn't let that happen. Mm-hmm. But I think he got caught sleeping a bit there by Charles. And, Charles, he kind of stuck his nose in and just pulled it off.
Yeah.
And then obviously left him vulnerable to Carlos. And then Carlos got too greedy. He tried to make the move on Charles because Charles was compromised on the exit of turn 1.
Yeah. But I feel like you could tell he was going on the outside, and you can tell he wasn't going to be able to take Charles.
No, but he should have tucked in behind Charles, and then he would have got an easy P3.
Yeah.
Good points for the team.
What happened on the crash though? Because I saw both of their onboards, and none of them.
Yeah, right. We're here now.
We're here.
Let's address it. I agree. I had to watch it a few times. So, yeah, as you say, both their onboards, none of them moved their steering wheel.
No.
And I think they were obviously on different trajectories. I think Carlos moved away from the wall a little bit, but like really minimal steering input.
Yeah.
But also, they were analysing it against the white line, but up that straight, the white line like disappears into the wall. Like it slowly gets further towards the wall before it stops.
Yeah.
So actually, that white line is sort of like receding slowly. So you have to judge it against the wall. And it's fairly like parallel to the wall, and the wall's like not dead straight either. So like, my take on it is I agree with the FIA ruling. I think they've smashed it with their ruling here.
Yeah.
Racing incident, both at fault.
Yeah.
Carlos had to move away from the wall, otherwise he's going into the wall. But Perez should take more of the blame because he's the driver behind, and he can see where Carlos is.
Yeah.
He
should have conceded a bit.
You see a car driving towards your car, you don't let it hit you and go, "What the hell, man?"
Yeah.
Like you've got to be aware of these things, I think.
Especially when you're Perez and you're like rarely in this position anymore, in contention for a podium.
Yeah.
You need to he should have conceded, and he probably would have been able to take Carlos back, at least Charles anyway, potentially. Obviously, it was a couple of laps towards the end, but obviously Charles had kind of lost it with his tyres. If Perez hadn't have lost it and he'd stayed in the race, he could have ended up in P2.
Yeah.
I think he should have been smarter in that situation as well. Obviously, I'm not blaming it solely on Perez because obviously I do agree it's a racing incident as well, but at the same time, you just got to play the game,
Yeah, it wasn't even an aggressive drift from Carlos. Their trajectories were just going slightly different, and Perez could see it. Carlos couldn't see it as well, and then they collided. So
it's just a shame.
For that point alone, I think that Perez should take slightly more of the blame, but they are both at fault, and it's just really unfortunate that happened.
Yeah.
But my God, it made me jump. I was watching it on my phone and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. I was like kind of lying down on the sofa watching the race, and then I sat up and then like hand over mouth. I was like, oh my God, this is like, when you're watching a movie and then all of a sudden there's like a big plot twist. It's kind of like that, and it's like, whoa.
It was insane.
Yeah.
So obviously it ended like that, but nothing to take away from Piastri because he controlled that race masterfully.
That was his race. Race to win. For
a sophomore. That's the right term, isn't it?
I don't know.
Second season in F1.
I really don't know. The American terms.
Yeah, I don't know. His second season is brilliant.
Yeah.
Fully deserved that. And why was he so chill on the radio?
I know. But he said he was stressed. But he's always just ice in the veins or whatever they say. I always mess up sayings like that.
I think that's right.
There we go.
He's the new Iceman.
Yeah.
I make it sound like his last name, Iceman.
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 Oscar Iceman. Anything else from the race?
I don't think... do you know what? The only thing that upsets me about Charles not winning, so we didn't get to hear the Italian national anthem again.
We got to hear the British national anthem, though.
Yeah, it's not a great one, is it? Bit boring.
Yeah, it's a little bit, isn't it?
We could say that.
Yeah, we're allowed to say that. It's our national anthem. It's not as fun as the Italian, is it?
No, certainly not.
That's okay.
But good to see a British team winning.
Yeah.
Local
always.
Team.
Yeah, definitely. Love, obviously, McLaren fan over here. So love to see it. Anyway, should we do our predictions?
It is about that time, isn't it?
Go through what we predicted.
What we predicted.
I'm just so good, to be honest.
Yeah, I feel like I start to feel like I don't know anything about F1 anymore. You know everything.
No, it's just plainly off like so the way that I do my predictions is I just go off epiphanies. I'm like, oh,
Feeling, yeah.
Yep, that's who's gonna get it this time around. To be fair, my predictions last week were a lot better than this week, but
yeah, but there's a certain thing you predicted that hasn't happened in ages.
yeah, true.
So
okay, let's go through it. Okay, so qualifying, I said Oscar P3, Lando P2, and Charles on pole. So I got Charles right.
You did.
Pole position.
See, you got that right as well.
Always say I'm dreaming when I put Charles on pole, but I just know when he's going to pull out of the bag.
He's got pole here 3 times now. So
that's why I thought
yeah.
he just knows this track so well. He knows how to put a lap together.
Do you know what? With these predictions, it's hard to know what to base on statistics or not.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's like, oh yeah, Lewis has been really good around here, but Lewis has been good everywhere. So
yeah, and it obviously depends on the car as well. Like
exactly. So I put Piastri third, Russell second, and Norris first. And Russell wasn't.
He was. Oh, why did he
near the
qualify
top
like
3.
P5?
I think so.
P5, P6.
Somewhere around there.
Yeah.
But it's hard to know where Mercedes are at because they've been the quickest a couple of tracks this year, not that long ago, and now they're a bit further down. It's like, and now Red Bull are even worse than Mercedes.
It's so hard to predict. It's really hard to predict. So
yeah,
I wouldn't be too tough on yourself because who'd you put on pole? Lando. Putting Lando on pole is not a crazy prediction.
Who's predicting Lando P17?
Yeah, exactly. Wouldn't that be crazy? That would be a bold prediction if you put that in your bold predictions.
Yeah. Lando Norris is going to qualify P17.
Yeah. That would be crazy if that came true.
Rigged.
Okay, race. I said Lewis P3. Wrong Mercedes.
Yeah.
Carlos P2 and Charles P1.
You were almost like, I know Oscar got P1, but it should have been Oscar, Charles, and Carlos.
I obviously had a feeling about Ferrari this weekend. I obviously just thought they were going to do really well. So, yeah. But obviously Lewis started from the pit lane. So it would have been a masterclass from him to make it up to P3. Obviously not impossible from Sir Lewis Hamilton, but
yeah, not in that car.
Probably would have been more realistic if I did put George Russell on there.
Yeah, George has been consistent. He's Mr. Consistency, I'd say.
Yeah, Mr. Right Place, Right Time, Mr. Consistency, Mr. Saturday.
Mr. Unlucky at Spa.
Mr. Unlucky when Carlos Sainz is in the lead.
Well, no, Mr. makes a mistake when you can hear the cheers of the crowd.
Not unlucky.
We'll come on to that, though, in the next one.
Yeah, right.
So in the race, I put Sainz in third.
Ooh.
That almost happened.
That did almost happen.
Piastri in second.
Ooh.
And Norris in first. So.
Oh, no.
You know what? It's not, considering how events unfolded, apart from Norris.
Yeah. Well, we both... Oh, no, I was going to say we both knew that McLaren and Ferrari would be in the top 3, but I didn't put McLaren in the top 3.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
But I did, so yeah, let's put them together.
Okay, crazy predictions. My first one, bold predictions, sorry, not crazy. Slight difference.
Crazy.
Yeah. My first one was there will be 3 crashes at the Castle Corner. There was no crashes there, was there?
No.
No.
There were no crashes anywhere except for
No one
turn 2.
Yeah.
Well, the straight after turn 2.
Your bold prediction?
Call up into a crash at turn 8, I said. He didn't.
He crashed in FP1, didn't he?
He did crash in free practice. Don't think that was turn 8.
Okay. He did really well to pull it back from crashing in free practice, though.
Yeah.
Because that, if you're like a new driver, that could knock your confidence and be like, oh no, like they've replaced me in this team, because obviously Logan didn't crash out loads this season. What?
What? Sorry? Yes, he did.
Not every race.
Not every...
But you're being replaced because a previous driver had wrecked
too much money.
Had wrecked the car a lot of the times, and you're like, oh no, I've done that too. But he did well to bring that back and prove himself in the race. My second bold prediction was Oscar and Lando will collide. Quite difficult to do when one of them starts in P2 and one of them starts in P15.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll write that one off to the unexpected qualifying.
But I did predict that Lando, or I did predict that maybe McLaren wouldn't be in the top 3. Or maybe something would happen to the McLaren drivers. Obviously, Oscar won, but, you know, I predicted something.
Nah.
Something. No, I'm really reaching with that one.
I said Norris will give up the lead again, but regain it on the first lap. That can't really happen when he starts in P6.
Yeah. He definitely gave up the lead, but that was in qualifying.
He never had it.
No. My third one was Perez beats Verstappen. Obviously,
Well done.
This one is...
Wait, I'm going to give that you because I thought you said Perez would out-qualify Verstappen, which he did, and I was very shocked at that.
Yeah, obviously he didn't beat him in the race, but I feel like I predicted like that he would.
He beat him on performance this weekend.
Yeah.
So
Which is
if I was
my
mean,
general
I'd say you can't have that, but no.
I think I can have that because that is bold to say.
My third one was 2 safety cars, halfway there, 1 out of 2. Doesn't quite get me the acca.
I feel like that's like half.
No, a VSE is a safety car.
It's virtual though. I'm not seeing the safety car on the track.
No, but I am seeing the words safety car at the top. I'm seeing them not overtake each other.
Okay, if you're going to give me the Paris one, I'll give you that one.
No, a virtual safety car is a safety car. What are you talking about?
All right. That's fine.
Thank you.
We're not even keeping track anyway. We're not even.
No, it doesn't even matter. There was only one.
Yeah. Maybe next year we'll be in competition.
Just before we end, just remember: did you see Max overtaking people after they crossed the line while they were still under the virtual safety car? And immediately Norris is like, "Max overtaking people."
Yeah.
Virtual safety car. But.
Do you know what? You got to be like that though. He's fighting for a championship.
That's what I'm saying.
He's trying. He's just.
You got to expect nothing less from championship contenders. That's the kind of thing. You have got to be on the ball like that, and he was.
Max would have done that with Lewis. Lewis would have done that with Max.
If he didn't do it, people would be saying, "Oh, it's a missed opportunity to call it out there."
Exactly.
So you got to do it.
Yeah,
because it's part of the game.
Yeah.
The game is the game.
People just love to hate though, don't they? They're just complaining about Norris saying it.
But you just don't read social media. And then it's fine.
And then your life is just so much better.
Thing is about social media.
Oh, here we go.
Is that, when you think negative things, do you run to the internet? No. Do you ever post positive things on the internet? Not really. So you got to remember that's most people.
Yeah.
So the people posting online mostly are just saying negative things, but you're not seeing the overwhelmingly positive things that from people. From most of the population that are just getting on with their day. So
true.
It is skewed in terms of the vocal minority.
Yeah. And if this has resonated with you, go and leave a lovely comment on someone's post.
Let's break the trend, man.
Yeah. It's really gone off topic here, but...
With that, I think we should end it.
Yeah.
Let's call it a day.
Okay. Let's call it a day.
All right.
We'll see you in Singapore. Well...
We won't, but see you for the Singapore Grand Prix.
Yeah, definitely. Leave a lovely comment if you liked it. maybe the nice comment will be on our post on our pod.
So a couple more people commenting. Get involved. Brasano comments every time.
Yeah. It's nice to see.
Appreciate you.
Right, and anyway, we'll catch you next race, Singapore Grand Prix.
Yeah.
Excited for it.
Catch you then.
See ya.